What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing today? GreyMan here. Well, today we're going to talk about 10 uses for trash bags for emergency preparedness. And the idea for this topic came between a conversation a friend and I had in regards to the many things that you can use out there that have such a versatile use. And trash bags are one of those. Now, we're specifically going to be talking about these contractor bags, the really thick bags. I forget the mils on them, because there's like you have your tarps out there. They're like 8 mil, 7 mil, 10 mil, 12, and so on and so forth, which is the thickness of the bag itself. But we're going to be kind of focusing on the contractor bags. Those are the ones I would suggest. And that being said, you should also think about this. I think you should have these things not even just in your home, but let's say you have a couple in your get-home bag or your bug-out bag. You're even at, like, let's say 1 or 2 in your EDC bag, have a few in your car, have them spread out, because I said you never know when you might be able to use these bags. And like I said, I think we're going to talk about also there's orange contractor bags, because they can come in handy for other things as well. But that's a generalization of what we're going to talk about. And here's what I need from you is whatever that you've ever used a trash bag for, please put them down in the comments. I'm really curious to hear from you folks on the things and the uses that you've used trash bags for. And I think, honestly, just like duct tape and cordage and stuff like that is like a staple in your preparedness repertoire, I think these contractor bags should be as well. And they're very cheap. Some people can't, go out there and run out and buy, like, say, heavy-duty tarps and other, let's say, and the reason I'm bringing this up is like dry bags. I don't know if you guys have, what dry bags are, where you can stuff it in and they have like a little thing. And you can seal them up. Maybe one of these I'll go over dry bags, but it's pretty self-explanatory. Dry bag, it's to keep stuff dry, and they're made in a specific fashion to do so. But we'll talk about that, and we'll get into that with the trash bags as well. Basically, let's start with number 1, waterproofing your gear. And you're like, okay, Gray, what do you mean waterproofing your gear? So what I mean, let's say you're out in the woods, right? And you're at your campsite and whatnot. You can take your whole backpack. Now, some backpacks will claim that they're waterproof and whatnot, but most people know the zippers are that weak point where water can get in, especially if it's a very heavy rain, like monsoon-like rain, or consistent rain, or a very wet environment. Even in the snow environment, things can get very wet. So you can take your bag, you can put it in one of these trash bags, seal that bag up, and at least protect everything's inside your backpack. So you can kind of see what I mean by waterproofing your gear. Not literally waterproofing, but using it as a protectant for, let's say, your bag or other things, like, let's say, your clothes. Let's say if you have a change of clothes, you're camping and you have something that got wet and you want to get them dry, but then, once they're dry, you want to put them in a bag so that they don't get wet again in case there's a storm coming in. So like I said, on that aspect, you can use it for different things for your gear. Now, another great use for these bags is ground cover. And what I mean by ground cover is you can lay it down. You know how some people use tarps to lay down, because let's say you lay down your tarp and then you can put your sleeping bag on top of that if you're laying on the ground. But you can use that to protect yourself from the ground. Now, we're going to go into an additional aspect of this, but I'll talk about bedding and whatnot here in a few minutes. But you can use that for ground cover. You want to lay that down there as a protectant from the ground and yourself. If the ground is a little bit moist, it's going to create a barrier. And some people will also cut these bags and use them for like a tarp, like for coverage. You can use it for, let's say, someone wants to build a lean-to. I've seen people make tents out of these things. It's pretty intriguing what you can do with trash bags in general. And you're like, Gray, well, are you ever going to go out in the woods and do it? I can, if that's what you guys want to see. I can go out and explore the many uses of trash bags if that's what you guys prefer to do. Let me know down in the comments. One interesting fact that I did learn that you can use trash bags for, and I have yet to apply this, but I'm really curious, and it makes sense, the concept behind it, is heating water up. So you would get this trash bag, and you would go into the lake or stream or wherever that you're at that you have this access to water, and you'd fill the trash bag up and tie it up and let it sit in the sun throughout the day, or maybe all day or whatnot. It's going to heat up that water. And then what you want to do is you want to take that bag, and you can either hang it from a tree. If you have cordage with you, like paracord or twine or whatnot, you can hang that up in a tree and use it there. And basically you poke a couple little tiny holes in there, and you have hot water. You're going to have a nice hot shower, basically. It's not super like glorified in the aspect like, yes, it's like a being at home when you're hitting a hot shower, but at least to be a warm shower, and it's just very easy to put together, if you get what I'm saying. Now, these bags are kind of thick, so if you hopefully you have your some sort of cutting tool with you, and you want to sharpen up a stick, you can poke some holes with it. If you have a tent stake or your knife, however you want to do it, and poke some little holes in there, kind of about the diameter of a shower head, or if you want to go bigger, depending on what you like. I think that would be pretty fun to do. In the aspect of it's better than going out in the lake and just jumping in and freezing your what's off. But you kind of get the gist of it, right? So I think, using it as a makeshift bush shower, than buying some sort of expensive thing and carrying that with you, or trying to carry that with you, a bag. Just think about that. Think in the aspect that these bags are so light, you can fold them and they take up little to no space. They're very extremely lightweight. I mean, and think of all the uses that you can use it for. So to me, that's why I find it an essential to have in your preps. Just, my personal thing, and I kind of wrap that up in there. Also, I know everybody should know this use for these bags. If you don't, then I don't know where you've been hiding that, because most of us have used this, or have implemented this idea throughout our lives, and it's using these bags for an impromptu poncho. You cut the hole, you cut the arms. They're like I said, they're very heavy duty, and then you have yourself a rain poncho. Keep yourself dry. I've seen people get really creative with this, with duct tape and all kinds of stuff like that. It's quite intriguing. Shoot, I mean, you've seen in the art world where they actually make full dresses and stuff with these trash bags and whatnot. But impromptu ponchos, man. Again, you have your emergency ponchos, but if you ever get one of those emergency ponchos, I wish I can grab one to show you, but I'm not going to pause this. I'm trying to make this as quick and as fast, and I'm trying to shorten and find ways to shorten my videos so they're not going rambling on and on and on. But most of the emergency ponchos you buy for a couple of bucks, they're very thin material. They tear very easy. So one of these contractor bags they're heavy duty. They don't tear as easy, and they're easy to convert into a makeshift poncho. Just saying. So many uses, I'm telling you. And we're going to move on to another one. Is a lot of people take a 5-gallon bucket on their campsite. They keep it as a backup for a impromptu toilet. So you can use one of these bags as a liner for that bucket. Now, some people say, you can put kitty litter and stuff like that in there, and yes, you can. But if you're out in the woods, you might just want to use dirt, twigs, wood chips. You can use a bunch of different stuff inside that bag to use for your bucket or your toilet bucket and whatnot. Or just saying, if you don't have that option, you can dig a hole and use the bag. If you, let's say, I know this might be more work than it's worth, but you can dig a hole and use the bag as a liner, because you don't want to leave that waste near your campsite, but you want to be able to use the bathroom near your campsite, not walk in the woods in the middle of the night. You kind of get what I'm saying. It's better to have something close instead of just going out in the woods and just using it somewhere where you can possibly contaminate something, or animals can smell that and then come to your camp. And so you can use that for, like, let's say, dig a hole, use that as a liner, do your business, and then in the morning tie that up, and then dispose of it properly away from your camp, somewhere you want to bury it or whatnot. Just dispose of it properly. And I know some people are going to be like, well, it's plastic, you're ruining the earth. I get it, man. But if you're in a survival situation or whatnot, that's what you got to think about. You're not thinking about all these other, what ifs and whatnot, in the aspect of like, oh, this is going to damage this, is going to damage that. You're thinking about protecting yourself and your family and the others, let's say, in your group. Anyways, moving on. I just like to sometimes make those statements, because I know there's always going to be someone that's going to be like, you should not bury plastic in the ground. It's doing this to the earth, and plastic takes millions of years to decompose and blah 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 blah. Moving on. I don't want to go down any tangents today. Also, you can use it, let's say, to protect your hands and your feet. Let's say you got to get into something nasty, you know what I mean? You're trying to dig through something. You can use it as an impromptu, like, long glove if you got to get your hands dirty. But mainly around your feet and your boots to protect you can take one of these bags and you wrap it around your boot and up to let's say, your knee, or wherever you need, all the way up to your mid-thigh if you had to. We can go up to your full length of your leg and attach it that way to your leg on both sides. If you got to walk through some mud or some stagnant water and you want to stay dry, because let's say there's some sort of leeches or whatnot, you're trying to protect yourself from getting wet and other parasites and things like that maybe in that water, and you just don't want to get wet, because then you're going to have to hang all that stuff. You're going to have to dry your boots, you're going to have to dry your socks, your pants, and so on and so forth. So you can use these bags as kind of like waders per se, but independent waders for each leg. You don't want to put, you don't want to do it like you're doing, what is that game called where you're bunny hopping or whatnot, where you bag jumping, or I don't know, whatever. But you got to get what I'm saying. You take one bag each leg and you attach it there. Let's say if you had duct tape or some cordage, whatever that's going to work for you in that aspect, and then you can wade through some nasty stagnant water and get to wherever you're doing, or whatever that's going to apply to you. And I'm trying to think here. I said because I have my bullet points, but they're just it gives me the ability to look over them like, okay, this is a bullet point, now talk about it. And I have gardening, and what I mean by gardening is let's say you're preemptively trying to think, you want to kill off a specific spot in your yard or a specific spot out in the woods or whatever. You want to kill everything around it. So you can take this bag, you can lay it down, you can put rocks on top of it or whatever that you want to use to hold that bag down, and it's going to kill the grass or weeds. But be what's the word? Be vigilant in the aspect that it's going to kill everything underneath there, good or bad. So when you lay this bag, you want to, let's say you're trying to get some ground ready to plant some stuff. You can lay these bags down there. You can put some, some weight on there, and after a while, it's going to go ahead and kill what's underneath there, and then you can use that soil to, plant seeds or whatnot, right? Also, I've seen some people use these trash bags as compost or mini compost. Take it because you can put the compost in there and roll it around and stuff like that, and do things with it as well. I'm not very informed on that aspect, but I've seen it done. So I don't want to forget the bedding aspect of. So when it comes to bedding, you want to make yourself as comfortable as possible if you're out there in the woods and you're camping, or if you're in a shift event, or whatever the situation calls for. But you can take, let's say, pine needles, moss, grass, leaves, anything that you can pack inside there, and you can make this kind of like a mattress or a pillow. Stuff it. It's also going to give you an additional barrier. So let's say you have one down as a barrier on the ground, and then you stuff another with some leaves and whatnot, and then you have yourself a mattress, so you're more comfortable than laying. Some of us are older folks. Laying on a flat ground or laying on the ground in general is just when you wake up in the morning, it does not feel that good. So having some sort of comfortability, there, like a makeshift mattress or a pillow, be as comfortable as you can. And like I said, trash bags are cheap, man. Use them wisely, and how you use them, and just think about it. And the whole reason behind videos like this is to kind of get the brain juices flowing, giving you the ideas of, okay, trash bags, and then you get the trash bags and you're like, okay, well, you can use it for this, 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 and that, and you think to yourself, well, I could also use it for this and that. Kind of get where I'm going with that. But yeah, also another great thing is food storage. And then somebody like, what? Food storage, Gray? What are you talking about? Food storage? You can't just keep food in a black trash bag. Well, the aspect of food storage that I mean is if you're out there, and let's say you have a fresh kill, you're hunting, or you have some food in general, you kind of want to, keep that up off the ground, or keep it outside of your tent, because let's say if you're prone to bears or other critters or pests and whatnot, you want to kind of, you can put all your food in that bag, tie it off, and then, raise it up on a tree and keep it up high away from those pests and critters. So that's what I mean by food storage and using a trash bag for food storage. Like I said, there's so many uses for this, but you've seen people take their, let's say, their backpacks and whatnot, or their dry bags, whatever they happen to be using. But if you have a trash bag, it's a very cheap and affordable alternative to some of those things, where you can use it to keep your food off the ground and keep the nasty, whatever, be it armadillos, raccoons, squirrels, whatever. And I know people are like, well, they can climb trees. Yeah, I understand that, but anything that you can apply to at least give yourself a better opportunity to, I guess, save your food from those things. And usually it's overnight, and it's usually near your camp, so you can kind of at least keep an eye on it. If you have someone watching a fire and tending to that fire, if there's two of you. But I'm going down tangents now and going down different paths. There was something else I was going to say, but I can't remember exactly. Oh, so what I wanted to bring up is the colored bags. I'm pretty sure a lot of you folks have seen the orange contractor bags. And here's how these things can come in handy. One, you can use them for signaling. A big orange bag, if you're trying to signal, you can, let's say you have a couple of those, you can cut them and lay them out. If a helicopter was to fly over, they can see that orange bag. It's very high visible, especially if it's in a field or something like that, because of course you don't want to put this bag in the middle of the woods. But you can put it out let's say in a field, as you come to an opening and trying to get rescued, they would see this big, huge orange spot on the ground. And then let's say you wanted to use something for contrast, so you'd have this orange trash bag down there, and you can use some something dark in color, let's say some rocks or whatnot. If you can get some dark rocks or dirt, and spell out the words "Help Me" or 911 or SOS, something to draw people's attention. That's because the bag itself works, but then you have the contrast from the bag from the material that you're using. Another great use for these bags is to tear them up in strips and use them as markers to, if you're trying to, let's say, go exploring from your camp, or you're trying to mark your trail, you can tie these to different limbs of the trees so that you have an easy way to find your way back. Now, of course, if you're trying to be all, undercover, where, you don't want no one following you, or if you're doing certain things like that, I get that. But let's say, you got your family with you, and we're all heading off in different directions looking for, let's say, food or wild edibles or plants and stuff like that. People can mark themselves back so that no one gets lost. Or if you have to go find someone, you can find a marker and kind of follow these markers to help that person in case they get hurt. Let's say you're at camping, like, okay, Mary hasn't gotten back. She's, a half hour overdue. What's going on? And someone can go out and find out where Mary's location is by, following those markers. So you can see how trash bags can be very versatile in the emergency preparedness aspect of things. Hopefully, some of you folks got some value on this, and if you did, can you please give me a thumbs up? I would truly appreciate that. It definitely helps the YouTube algorithm, as we all know. Plus, it shows the interaction. Plus, I'd love to hear from you guys down in the comments. Again, things that you might have used trash bags for, all the different types of uses, because I like the community to interact, because then we can kind of get ideas off each other, because like I said, there's hundreds of uses, and I'm missing tons of them, trust me. But again, go out and get yourself some trash bags. They're not that expensive, at least at the moment, right? Prices are going up all over the place, but there's just so many. I mean, if worst case scenario and you had to pack, you're in a rush and you're in a bug out situation, you can pack these heavy trash bags with a lot of different things in there. Throw a bunch of clothes, whatever it may be, if you're one of those folks that can't afford a bug out bag or whatnot, you know what I mean? So like I said, I can go on and on about the uses, but I don't want to keep you guys for too long. I think I've already went for almost 20 minutes here. Anyways, thank you all for watching. I truly appreciate every single one of you. I will see you guys tomorrow live. I don't know if I have a guest or not. If not, we'll have a topic or something. We'll go live at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'll see you folks then. So this is GreyMan. I'm out. I'll see you guys in the rebound. God bless.